And so we're actually, oh, there you go. We're actually going to be in Atlanta. We're going to be in Atlanta, I think, in 2 weeks because they're performing and competing against college students, and they have an opportunity to earn scholarships. My kids are 10 and 11, and my son can compete with the best of them. And so we're getting ready to go to Atlanta, and I was like, how can I? And so they're practicing a lot this week. I have class this week. Right after I leave work, I go straight to class. I got class. I don't get out of class about 9. I make it home around 9:30, 9:45. It's hard. It's very, very hard for me. Yesterday I had church. They had practice. We had to shoot on over to church. So I can't. So because they get out, because they have practice today, which they usually don't, but they have practice today, I had to humble myself and go to another parent and say, hey, I can't take them home today. Do you mind picking up my kids and taking them home? It was so hard this was on Monday, y'all. It was hard for me to ask for help. I almost cried. But I'm a huge believer. I don't ever want to be a public success and a private failure. I don't ever want to be a public success and a private failure. What does that mean? That means I come here, talk to y'all like, Sade, I love your speech. You're amazing. Your kids are so lucky to have you. And I go home and my kids are like, I wish somebody else was my mom. I don't want that. Same energy y'all give me, I need that same energy at home. Kind of, you know what I'm saying? Because my daughter's in middle school, so, she's not able to show her stomach and stuff like that. So maybe today she, it's limits and stuff like that. But overall, so let me get into teaching y'all. I am where I am because of support. And I'm getting this thing, gearing it up right now. I am where I am because of support. And don't ever, ever, ever feel ashamed or embarrassed to ask for this support. And if someone tells you no, I need you to say, that's just no for you. I'm gonna keep asking. So designing your support system. It's important for y'all to learn how to design your support system. Without support, it's very hard to go anywhere. So let's learn how we can step into our power by designing the support that we actually need in order to be successful and accomplish the goals that we want to accomplish. Because in order for us to step into our power, we absolutely have to have support. Right? And because a lot of us are currently the primary provider for our children, we have to build the village, right? You all heard it takes a village to raise kids. We've heard that time and time, and how many of us actually do it? Not many of us. But but that's the only way we're gonna make it to where we need to go and accomplish what we need to accomplish. So here's what we're going to do. I'm gonna give you guys, you guys gotta excuse me because at the end of the day, I'm still a professor. Some of the learning outcomes that you guys are gonna have with this is students will know how to develop a support team, and professionals, right? Students and professionals will understand what support is and how support can help accomplish their goals. Right, students and professionals will learn the different types of support systems. That is a learning outcome. So excuse me for being that professor within me, but it's important for you to know when you come to conferences what you're learning and the purpose of what you're learning and what you should walk away with. If you don't walk away with all 3 things, hit me up and say, Sade, I ain't walk away with all 3 things. I got 2, I got 1, or I didn't get none. But I need you to get all. You need to know how to develop a support team. You need to know what a support team is and how you can how they can help you accomplish your goal. And then last again, you need to know the different type of support teams. Okay. All right, here's what we're gonna do right now. Everyone right now, if you got a pen and paper, we're gonna do a little activity. I'm gonna share my screen with you guys again. We're gonna do an activity. If you got a pen and paper, or if you don't have a pen and paper, don't worry. Don't worry. I want you to write down everyone who's in your support network. I'll give you guys a scenario. You're on the side of the road. You have one of your kids with you. 2 of your tires go out. Who in your circle right now can you call? On top of that, the reason why your tires are flat is because you were driving to the grocery store and you were going to get groceries because you didn't have any food in the house, but you managed to scrape up $100. Who do you call? Right? Begin to write that down or think about it. Who do you call? We're gonna take a few moments just to think about it and write it down. And if you don't have anyone, write no one. And that's okay. And if you don't have anyone, if you can privately DM me and say no one. That way I know the audience and what type of support you know how I can move forward. So if you don't have anyone, if you were in it, 2 tires went out, not 1, 2 tires went out. You only have $100, and that $100 got to last you 2 weeks to feed your baby. DM me if you feel like you don't have anyone, or you have someone who is like, it depends how they feel. So far, I don't have anyone saying that they don't have anyone. That's good. But I'm gonna operate as if we do have one person who just didn't want to say it. Because when I used to come to conferences like this, I ain't put my business out there. I don't know you like that. I get it 100%. I'm gonna operate. I'm gonna operate. Okay, all right, there we go. We got a few coming in saying that they don't have that support, or the person's kind of wibbly wobbly. Why is it so important? Because one, let me explain. When I was, that's actually my real, like that's a real life story. I didn't have a flat tire, but when I was in graduate school, I weighed about 90 pounds, 100 pounds. I'm 130 right now. So look at me right now. I don't know if you can see me. I'm 130, 135 right now. Imagine 35 pounds taken off of me. How little I am. Like right now, you can see like my bones and stuff like that. So imagine 30 more pounds taken off of me. How sick I look. Yet I was around people who seen me. And they didn't say anything except this one lady. She, I never forget, I met her at an event. I was going through these events for foster youth. And she became my mentor because they made her shop with me or something like that. And it was for school, so we bought school supplies and stuff like that. And then we built a good relationship. I kept, meeting with her and stuff like that. And as a year went by, I never said anything because I will never, ever, ever let people know that I'm drowning. So I'll come to work sometimes and I'll joke with my coworkers. I'll be like, hey, let me get $5. And let me borrow 20. I like that jacket. Come up out of that thing. And then, yeah, depending on who you are, they get scared. I'm like, I'm 5 foot nothing. I ain't gonna do nothing to you. But Sade, you can have it if you want the jacket. I don't want your jacket. But I'll joke with them. Hey, let me get $5. Hey, they'd be like, oh, we all need to, I ain't got it. I ain't got it. Like I'll joke around, like culturally, like in the Black culture, we do that sometimes. When you really got money, you always tell people you don't have money. It's the people who run around with money that really ain't got it. What the potluck? Oh, I ain't got this month. Y'all should schedule that ahead of time. I ain't got this month. So I joke around the office like that. But one time, the pandemic hit, and the staff member kept bringing me food to my house. I'm like, wow, that's nice of her. Then one day I said, why you keep bringing me food? She said, because I know you're going through it. Girl, what? I ain't going through nothing. Girl, it's a pandemic. I caught up on all my reality shows. I'm sitting at home. I'm tripping a little bit because I can't go outside. But girl, my life is great. Girl, I got a house full of food. These kids drive me a little crazy, but I didn't send them outside. I said, look, you go outside. Y'all got to do something with your life. I said, girl, what makes you think that? She said, because you're always at work joking about how you don't have the... Girl, I said, that's a cultural thing. I said, girl, I'm far from broke. Girl, I'm not broke. I'm doing all right in life. Now, if you would have caught me about 5, 6 years ago, that would have been true. But 5, 6 years ago, I never joked like that. Never told anyone. I used to go to events like this so I could get food. So let's say this event would have happened. So now when we have events online, do you know what I do? I give them DoorDash cards. Because I used to be the person that came to events for food. I did not have anyone to come and help. Brown bag event. They They was talking, I don't like in social, my major was social work. I have a master's in social work. And so they have they have the mental health, then they have the macro, micro social work, macro social work, meso social work. They have all the different, and I was more community organizing. I was at the mental health portion of the social work. I don't want to be no therapist. Y'all see I talk too much to be a therapist. But I'm sitting there because they got food. And then they would always do this thing. I knew they did. Sade, take the food home to the kids. You know, we don't want it. No, I can't do that. I can't. No, this food is for everyone. And they say, no, Sade, take the food home to the kids. No, third time I was like, I'll just take the food. I was really waiting for them to tell me that. That's what I was doing. I was waiting for them to tell me to take the food. Lo and behold, my mentor seen that this was going on, and she eventually, we went to Costco and we were shopping. And she said, hey, what do you think about this? I said, oh, I said, you should try that. I think it might taste good. I'm thinking we shopping for her. We go to my house. She dropped me out the house. I get out the car. I said, all right, I'll see you later. She said, hey, you need to take all your stuff. I said, what? She said, this is all your food. This is all your stuff. She knew I would never accept it if she just said, hey, I'm taking you shopping. I would have told her I was sick. I told her I got the flu. I told her I had something contagious, so she don't want to be around me, because it was hard for me to accept help. I'm asking you, I'm begging you, please don't be like that. Even at work, a few days ago, I was struggling in this acting UPS position. I was struggling. I was like, man, what in the world? You got to deal with these different personalities. You got to deal with, I'm like, oh man, you getting the different emails, you getting all this stuff. Then I said, let me ask for some help. Reached out to some of my colleagues over at Southwestern. Omar, he's mentoring me, got the help I needed. So I want you to do the activity, because some of us aren't going to have the support that we really need. But let me break this down. I like to have acronyms. So we're going to go through the word support all together. The S stands for system of support. But system stands for, and I know some of y'all smart people going to break this down. But Sade, yourself is not 2 words. Just bear with me, y'all. System stands for saving yourself time, energy, and money. Saving yourself time, energy, and money. So here's an example. Some of y'all are actually going to, you need to create a system that works for you. So when my kids were younger, I used to put them to bed every day at 8 o'clock. Even when they were like a few months old, I would try my best to turn down all the lights at 8 o'clock, no TV, etc. Get them in a routine, so because I was in school. So I had to develop a system. By the time I went to graduate school, they were used to 8 o'clock. I was like, 8 o'clock, it's time for bed, right? Then I need you I began to develop study time. So people always say, if you look on my Instagram, I got this thing called the 4 a.m. grind. Oh, Sade, I can't believe you wake up at 4 a.m. I don't wake up at 4 a.m. because I like waking up at 4 a.m. Are you crazy? What? What's wrong? What? Sade, that's what people, Sade, are you crazy? You wake up at, I might be. I'm madly and crazy. I was going to say crazily. That's not a word. I'm in love with the process of developing systems. Only time I have to study is between 4:30 in the morning and 6:30. If I study during the daytime, that's taken away from my job. I can't be at work studying. That's wrong. I got students to serve. I can't be at home studying while my kids, that's their time. So I developed a system, right? And so the book that I suggested earlier in the speech was Success Equals Discipline by Jocko Willink. That one actually helped me. So some of you guys are like, no, I need step by step. Just buy that book. I'm telling you. Somebody bought me that book before I started graduate school, and before I started my doctoral program, saved me. That's why I started waking up at 4 a.m. He wakes up at 4:30. 4:30 became too late for me, so I started waking up at 4 a.m. That extra 30 minutes made a difference. So I need you to begin to develop these routines that will allow you to save yourself time, energy, and money. So I use an example in my speech about my daughter, about her getting dressed. Every time she's late, it's always because she didn't pick out her clothes in the morning. I began picking out my clothes for the week instead of just the morning. That saved myself 10, 15 minutes of time. So talk about support. Well, one of them, you got to create a system. Right? Then you begin to develop a routine. I said this in the keynote. I said that I'm not motivated. I'm not activated, inspired, none of that stuff. I'm consistent. I told my daughter, I was talking to her, I said, the one thing about life is that humans are not consistent. If you find an individual who's consistent, you've hit the jackpot. I said, people will always start and stop stuff all the time. I said, so even if someone's at school teasing you, they eventually gonna stop. I mean, not that I was gonna allow that to happen. I was gonna stop immediately when I found out. But if someone's doing that, it ain't gonna last long. This too shall pass. Even when good things happen, this too shall pass as well. And we got to go on to the next one. So if you begin to develop a system, such as even like I got to a point where I had to start organizing my clothes in my closet by color. Because some of us are like, no, I'm color coordinated. I want to wear pink today. Where if all your clothes are put together all over the place, you don't know where the pink is. You don't know where the yellow is, the green is. But just it's something as simple as taking apart your whole closet and saying, I'm putting all greens right here, all t-shirts right here, all my shoes go here. Even in winter, see, we live in California where we don't have to pack up winter clothes and then put them on. I started doing that. I have a winter wardrobe. That's okay. This year I'm gonna focus on my winter wardrobe. Next year I'm gonna save money to focus on my spring wardrobe. Then a year after that, I'm gonna focus on my fall wardrobe. And I pack it all up. I began to develop a system because I was running late because we had our clothes. So that's how you begin to save yourself time, energy, and money. Let's think of gas is high. We in California, it's like $6. So if you don't plan out where you're driving to, you're in trouble. All right, let's go. Unequivocal support. This is why I asked the question. Who in your life is going to be there no matter what, right? Willing to accept support from people you can depend on. This means that, hey, you know what? They always come through. I'm telling you this now, if you're a student, it is always the people at your college. And they're going to connect you to other people. That's what people don't understand. That's the power of networking. The true power, let me put it in terms of scholarly language, which is what they like to use, which is social networking. It's a social network theory that they have. And that social network theory is you meet someone, then you introduce me to someone, then you introduce me to someone. That's exactly how we get to where we need to go. Willing to accept support from other people you can depend on. Keyword, willing. So even if somebody else lets you down, that's okay. We're going to move on to the next thing. Because you said no, that don't mean no for everybody. The P. So we went through the S, we went through the U, we went through the P. Perception of support, right? The mental impression of the current situation. This is me going back to just because someone told you no does not mean you don't ask them again. No today just means that it didn't fit in your schedule today. The only thing I stay away from is people who cancel on me last minute. I don't want to deal with that. That's the only time. Like if I ask you to say, hey, Maddie, can you watch my daughter? Can you pick her up from school? It is what it is. And Maddie's like, no, I'll come back. Hey, Maddie, you said no on Wednesday. What about Thursday? That'll work better. Now, if I ask Maddie to watch my daughter and she cancels on me last minute, then I ask her again because she's shown that, hey, this right here is something I'm not able to be consistent with. And our lives as parents, as professionals, and as students need to be as consistent as possible. But it doesn't mean it changed my perception of her. It just meant in that moment, she could not watch it. However, I'm never going to put myself in a position where she can deny me again like that last minute. You deny me 24 hours, no problem. But an hour before you're supposed to go pick up my daughter, Maddie, you're a good person, but I ain't asked you to do that again, right? So it's all of it's really changing our perception of what support means too, of an individual. One person said no, that does not mean the whole system or supported people around you said no. I use this example with students all the time. When like right about now, a lot of people are getting accepted into universities, and as a professional, we're having to also help students who were denied, dealing with the emotional aspect of that. And students will always get the first denial letter. I said, don't worry about that. It's just one school. Yeah, but this was a dream. It's one school. Change your perception. Oh, Sade, I got into school. I know. Change your perception. So I want us to change how we think about support and also think about unique ways to support. Supporting doesn't only mean you call that person when you have something to do, like, oh, I have class. Sometimes support means I need a break. I'm on 10 and I need a break. I don't know if y'all seen that the voice thing on Instagram. Like, pick somebody else. Pick somebody else. I'm on 10. I'm on 10. That's how I am. Yesterday, my son came and he was talking about math. I don't like math. My son come up here in my house with this negative energy talking about fractions. I don't do fractions. And so I said, son, pick somebody else. I'm on 10. And he said, okay, no problem. But do you know, my son came right back and said, well, I have an essay I wrote. His perception, you didn't want to support me on math. What about English? Change his perception. The other P is pace your support. So I need you to create a pace you know you can succeed at. So what is pace your support? It means that I can do X, Y, and Z at this particular level, right? At this particular level, I can do it. And so if you can do it at that particular level, set yourself up to continuously do it. If it's something you're consistent with, you're fine. Just be consistent with it, okay? That's all I'm asking. Be consistent with it. All right. We got some Q&A coming up too. Now we got the R. Oh, we skipped the O. Yeah, we sure did. We did. Come on, Sade. Don't worry, I got the O for you. Don't worry. I stay ready, so I ain't got to get ready. It's just this slide. The O. The O in support stands for opportunity of support. Opportunity. So that means, do you know the best way to obtain, let me take this off. The best way to obtain support is for you to give support to other people. So that's when you and your home, I used to have this group. Oh man, I used to have, okay, I'll tell y'all about these two groups I had. Years ago, back when I was at USC, so it's about 2013, 14. Yeah, 2013, 2014. This movie, Tyler Perry came out with this movie called The Single Moms Club. And so I went to the movie and I seen that movie. And I was like, and it was a bunch of single moms who different backgrounds, different ethnicities, they all came together and they began to support each other. I left that movie theater super excited. And when I get excited about something, do you know what I do? I end up doing something about it. And so I left and I said, I'm about to create a single moms club. I'm in graduate school, single parent, I'm getting ready to go through a divorce. Well, I am going through a divorce at that time. Mind you, I'm in court for 2 years while I'm in graduate school twice a month. Every month for 2 years. I'm drained. You talk about needing support, I'm drained. I'm drained. And so I said, I know how I'm gonna get support. I need somebody to watch these kids. I know how I'm gonna get support. I'm gonna get a group of single parents together. I'm gonna offer to watch their kids and we rotate. We all go out once a month and whoever turn it is to stay with the kids, then they stay that. So I stay the first month, next person stay the next, and we all watch the kids. I had a good little crew going. And we began to watch each other children. And it was very, very, very supportive. Very supportive. And so from there, I eventually developed this group called M3, Mothers Motivating Mothers. And that was a group where I actually taught a class every week, and we met once a week, and I taught a class once a week as well. I had to stop that. I still have it going. Matter of fact, if you type in mothersmotivatingmothers.com, it still might come up. It was a whole group that I had. But the O is opportunity of support. You have to be willing to give the support to other people because they'll remember. Oh, I remember when they came in and asked for support from me, but they gave it to me first. People were willing to help you if you first helped them. My favorite analogy is this one. People will support you if they see you supporting yourself. What exactly does that mean? Anyone ever had their car break down? I have. I have a car, yeah. When you sit in your car, Katrina, when you sit in your car and your car is broken down on the side of the road, did anyone help you?
Yes, one time we, when our car broke down, a gentleman came over just gave us bottles of cold water because the whole family were stranded there. And the kids were young at the time. Yeah. And that was just the nicest thing.
Yeah, it meant a lot to you, right?
Yeah.
Were y'all in the car or outside of the car?
We were in the car. We were parked in the shade. Maybe my husband might have been standing outside of the car, but the kids were sitting in the car. And, we're just obviously stranded. We didn't have AAA at that time like I do now.
Yeah. You said your husband was standing outside the car?
Yeah.
Ah, there you go. There it is. That was wondering. So a lot of times when a car breaks down, the only way you know that the car is broken down is if someone's standing outside of it or they're trying to push it. There's no other way to know. Like if her kids were just sitting in the car and the husband was sitting in the car, they wouldn't know that she needed help. They would just think the car was parked and that they were just sitting there. I sit in the car all the time. Let me tell you this. I have my sit in the car moments at home. I just sit in the car for 2 hours, but leave me alone. I need to decompose what just happened, whatever. And so people only know if you're out, right? So people will help you push a car if they see you pushing it. That's what happens. Someone's seen the husband standing outside the car. He might not have had the hood up. He might have had the hood up, but he had to have shown some action that he was doing something to try to fix the car. And whether that was walking around the car, looking underneath the car, looking at the hood, whether that was, some behavior showed that. And that's what it is when it's with support. People will help us when they begin to see that we too want that additional support. And I know that you've been taught to say, no, that's not true. That's not true. It is very true. There are a lot of people that want to support and help us. So let me get into the R. So there are results of having support. Results of having support. Able to reap the benefits of your support. So what are some of the benefits? I would love for somebody here to share. What was the benefit of you receiving support? So some of the benefits of me, I was able to graduate. I'm able to go to class tonight. My children get to go to practice today. Can someone willing to unmute to tell us like what benefits did they receive from accepting support?
I'm alive.
Yes.
Me too. I'm alive.
Yeah.
I would say career advancement.
The ability to go to grad school.
One less stressful thing off my shoulders for the day.
The ability to attend school, attend the workshop, have materials for school, and have a meal card for the cafeteria.
The ability to accomplish more, get more done because somebody decided they was gonna watch your kids.
Biggest thing for me was the ability to get my children in college because somebody supported me. So to build a legacy.
Here we have a few in the comments. Go ahead, Francisco.
The ability to change our generational cycles.
The ability to self-care when you don't get to very often.
I had the ability to attend Board of Governors Advocacy Day in Sacramento because my whole family worked as a unit to support me, to take my daughter to school, pick her up, drop me off at the airport, and so many other opportunities, especially graduating from community college, being the first generation student, like that was the biggest thing. I'm so grateful to them.
I see some people in the chat, self-care. I want to start with something someone said. Someone said, to be alive. I want to stress that some of us, if we don't accept support, we ain't gonna be here too much longer. I said that, I think I said this earlier in the keynote, but as a Black person, I have a higher rate of dying from heart disease than any other thing. Why is that? The stressors that are on me, on my day-to-day life. So many of us, many people, there was a statistic that said most people die on a Monday. Interesting, most people die on a Monday. Why? Most people go to jobs they hate on what day? Monday. What's the day that people hate? Oh man, it's Monday. You walk in the office, it's Monday. What? They're not happy. They lose a lot. That stress will get you every time. To be alive, if we don't accept support, we won't be here much longer. So you know what I did? I said, I understand I'm in this position right now. I'm going to accept some help. And that form in every area of my life, work, school, children, right? Faith, all finances. One thing I didn't tell you, I used to have my EBT card. Oh, I used to love my little EBT card. That thing, I didn't discuss. It wasn't until someone came to me and said, Sade, you could be getting EBT. I didn't know that when I was in graduate school. When I was in graduate school, I didn't know that I qualified for EBT. It wasn't until someone said, hey, it's support out there. You don't work. You don't work. When I was at USC, you weigh like 90 pounds. You don't look like you eating. There you go. You don't look like you eating. Why are you not eating? I don't got no food. I'm doing the best I can. They said, well, if you don't want to eat, that's fine. But if those kids ain't eating, that's another problem. Go get some EBT. And it was, of course, it was a time where I used it that support while it was available to me. Eventually, by the grace of God, I no longer qualified for it. That was the best feeling in the world, is when I didn't qualify for the support. But now I help people get that support. I help them get that support. We're gonna get ready. I want to do some Q&A too with you guys because it's more of an intimate setting. Let me share my screen with you all one last time. Success is the sum of small efforts repeated day in and day out. Right? Success is a sum of all of small efforts repeated day in and day out. I'm gonna share this little video with you all, just to kind of just a little message. In this story, I'm a single mom of 2 kids, a little girl, a little boy. They are the love of my life. They are the headaches of my life too. They mean the world to me. They're the reason I have a master's degree. They're the reason why we just bought our first home. So I never bought a home if it wasn't for them. And my kids have pushed me to do things that are absolutely out of what the norm would be if it was just me. So here's what's going to happen. Whenever you decide in life that you're ready to change, that you're ready to hit the road, that you're ready to start running, life is going to come and it's going to knock you dead in the mouth. And I need you all to be prepared for that knockout. That was a video. When I was talking my keynote speech, I told y'all my brother had just died. That was a speech. Oh, sorry, I didn't get to the T. I'm gonna get to the T. I wanted to show you guys that video first. I'm gonna get to the T. That video first, because I don't want you guys to think that the moment you get support, life is absolutely phenomenal. I want you to know that life is gonna come, and when life comes, I want you to do this one thing for me. If you begin to prepare for the support, right here, the T actually stands for time saver from having support, right? Productivity is going to increase, productivity and the likelihood of goals being accomplished increase. Because you've accepted support, you have a time saver. And when life comes and hits you in the mouth, that's okay. You're able to get up quicker than if you didn't have that support. People always say, Sade, you should probably put it in a nicer way instead of saying life's gonna hit you in the mouth. I said, well, sometimes life ain't pretty. I'm sorry. I'm not politically correct. I apologize. If it offends you, I apologize 100%. However, I want to set these individuals up who are coming to this workshop to know that this is sometimes the way it is. But if we can get you to that T, which is it's a time saver. Support is a time saver from having support. So you become more, you have more work getting done. The chances of you accomplishing your goals will automatically increase. And do you know that when you are going through hard times, it's a lot better when you have the time to sit down. Always think about it. I talk about life insurance sometimes. In my community, a lot of times people don't have, the R is the results of having support. Now, let me share my screen with you. There you go. I always talk about life insurance, right? When my brother didn't have life insurance when he died, because when he was diagnosed with the cancer, they were talking about us paying like $2,000 a month. You know, he ended up living like six years after, stuff like that. And it was just it was just a lot. At that time, my sisters and them, they weren't in a financial position to be able to, you know, all of us split it. However, my brother did everything in his power to make sure that when his time came, we had time to grieve his death, as opposed to us always having to put everything together. He did as much as he could to time saver. And I also tell people too that when it comes to a time saver as a person, that's all you got. I told y'all got to learn how to control your time by developing what systems? How do you develop systems? By having support. So I want to open this up because we got about 5 more minutes left. I want to open this up to you guys for Q&A, and let's try to, we can get as intimate as possible. So if you could do me a huge favor, because I want to make sure those who have questions are able to get their questions answered. You can DM me in the private message if you want to, because I know some of the questions are personal and I won't say your name. I'll just answer the question. I want to respect privacy. And then while you can unmute if you want to. I'll wait a few minutes. And if we don't have questions, I'm going to actually do some commonly asked questions that people ask me. Okay. Awesome. We got one coming in. Okay. You shared the moments you lost powers and moments you gained. Could you share the transition between the two? Oh, great question. Oh, that was a great question. I'm gonna take that question. So the transition in between, I'm gonna put it in a sense of feelings. It was depression, sadness, anger, unbelief. And then it began to transition into possibility. Maybe me. I think I'm on the right track. I am on the right track. How do I stay here? So it's more of the range of emotions that you're going to go through. And I'm constantly going through them. The difference is now I'm more aware of my feelings. I'm now more aware of how I'm feeling. So when I'm not feeling, I'm like, hey, Sade, you're not feeling good. So you know what I did do? And I know some of us aren't in this position, but eventually you guys are going to be in this position. I began to do a lot of self-care. Now there's 2 ways of self-care. Self-caring as a student and self-caring as a professional are night and day. Please do not try to cite self-care as a professional when you're a student. Do not do this. I don't want anyone going to credit card debt or getting themselves in a financial bind because they're trying to do this. Self-care when I was a student was taking a walk. Self-care when I was a student was not me immediately picking up my kids from daycare at all. Self-care for me as walks, playing basketball, etc. Self-care for me as a professional, now that I'm in a different role, I got this monthly membership that allowed me to be able to get these massages because I'm really, really tight in my shoulder sometimes. Get these massages, $60 a month. I said, okay, $60 a month. All that means is that if I map out my driving plan, that's $60 right there. So I began to find ways to create that. Let me see. If you were able to go back and talk to your young self, what would you advise? Oh, that's a great question. If you go to my website, sadeburrell.com, I have a blog. Actually, let me see if I can pull it up for you guys. I have a blog where I actually answer that question. But that was my even younger self. I wrote a letter as my 24-year-old self. I was 24 at that time. I was writing a letter to my 12-year-old self. And I know you shouldn't boast about yourself or anything like that. You really shouldn't boast about yourself. However, I do have this blog where I am talking about this subject matter in detail. And if I had to say to myself anything when I was younger, oh man, I can't find it. It is on here somewhere. If I had anything I would say to my younger self, it would be, it's going to be okay. You'll be all right. I promise you it'll be all right. When I was going through my divorce, when I used to sit in the closet and cry and say, God, this is my man. This is my husband. We supposed to be together for life. Hey, Sade, you're going to be all right. You'll learn how you're really supposed to be treated. If I had to go back to my younger self in school, I'll say, hey, don't worry about that test that you just failed. You're still going to graduate because you're going to figure it out. If I had to go back to my younger professional self, I say, hey, you're up here stressing about that job. I promise you're going to be okay. Your work ethic speaks louder than your words could possibly speak. That's what I would say to my younger self. That it literally, everything worked out. I always say when people freak out, everything works out for the greater good. Everything works out for the greater good. Oh, we got a lot of questions coming in. I'm going to try to get as many as possible because I don't even know if you were to go back, okay, perfect. What are good ways to start to step into your power as an introverted individual? Oh, that is a great question because people think, well, Sade, I'm not you. I don't have that outgoing personality. I don't have that. You can take everything I've said. You just put a spin on it. And the spin is, you don't have to. Stepping into your power simply said, okay, let me put it in a way. Let me calm down because I get excited about it. That's a great question. Because people say, Sade, I'm not you. I can't do what you 100%. However, stepping into your power doesn't mean you're introvert or extrovert. It doesn't, that doesn't make it different. What it simply means is that instead of you boldly asking everyone, like right now, hey, everyone, I need support, or sharing your vulnerability, you instead go to your close-knit circle. Your close-knit circle and say, hey, these are some of the challenges I'm struggling with. I wonder if I can have your support with it. It legit is just that. It's the same steps. It's just you do it you. Right? That's what I wanted. I went through the exact situation. Okay. Thank you for sharing it. I ain't gonna read that out loud. You share the moments. Okay, perfect. We got it's the same thing. Don't think because you're introverted that's not gonna work. You do not, please don't be like me. Please don't be like me. I mean, I am something else, y'all. I am something else. Be you, your authentic self. You are beautiful, amazing, phenomenal. What that video said, awesome. Be you. Do not change for anybody unless you want that change. That's all I'm asking you to do, okay? All I'm asking you to do. So always remember, ask for that support, please. I'm telling you, I know I went 1 minute over. Give me 1 more minute. I want for you to please, you learn nothing else from this conference or from me. One thing I want you to do is I want for you to seek support to help you get to where you are. Right? Marquis said that it helped him elevate his career, asking for support. That's exactly that's the only way we're going to get to, if you begin to put it out there. Hey, I'm looking for it. Matter of fact, okay, let me tell you where I messed up as an EO. Can I be honest? Oh, it's still being recorded. It's okay. I'll say a story anyway. As an EOPS, acting EOPS director, I'm going to share this with you guys, what I did wrong. Well, I'm going to share what I did wrong. Probably shouldn't say this, but here's what happened. So I got this, I'm in this role. My supervisor come back sometime in June. And so as I'm in